Alright, this time we're going to look at making a moving platform for our games here in Unity using Playmaker. Alright, this is just using our simple platforming setup that I've used in the past. There we go, pick up, and then now we want to jump up there, but we can't, so we're going to need something to jump up there, or at least take us up there. So we're going to use a moving platform. Now the simplest way to do it would just be to go ahead and add a cube, okay, not under the main camera, but this cube here will be down there. There we are. Actually, let's just go ahead and put him at 0, 0, 0, so there it is, and then we'll just pick where we want. So here's our cube. I'll rename this platform cube, I guess. Focus. I'm just going to shape it like a platform. And there we go. So this is going to be our moving platform. One thing we're going to want to do, because it's going to be moving, is we want it to have a rigid body, because if we don't, if we start moving it around, it's going to be moving a static collider, which is not the most efficient thing to do in Unity. So we'll just add a rigid body and mark it as kinematic so physics don't affect it. Okay. Right now it's not going to do anything, just going to sit there until we add an FSM. Okay, this FSM, we'll call this one moving platform. Right, this will be the FSM that moves our platform back and forth. And we're going to want at least two states. One state where it moves to where it's at, and another state to where it moves to where it's going. Okay, so we'll just say move to location 1. This will be moved to location 2. Can't type location 2. Alright, fantastic. Right, to do this, all we're going to use is just simply use an I-tween move 2. Okay, and we'll put this on both of them. And the reason we're going to use this is because it will move our platform to a supplied destination, and when it gets there it will finish and then move to the next thing. Okay, so right now we'll just go ahead and check out our transform position, or I'm sorry, not transform, we're going to use a vector position, and all that is just a position, right? So we'll just make this nice and much easier. 8, 5, 0. Okay, so 8, 5, 0, and that looks good. Time, how long does it take to get between the two? We'll just make it say 2 seconds. 1 second may seem a little fast, so maybe just 2 seconds. Alright, we'll not worry about speed, space, or anything else. We're probably going to want to turn off orient to path, that way it's not looking at where it's going, because otherwise it's probably going to dump you off. We do want it to move to path. It says whether to automatically generate a curve from the current position to the beginning of the path, true by default, which is pretty much what we want. I suppose we can turn it off and it's not gonna, I don't think it affects it a whole lot, but we'll just leave it as is. Now the events, when it starts we don't want it to do anything, because then we're not going to do this. But when it finishes, we'll want to send an event and say next, right, because we're moving to the next destination. So next, type it in there. We'll have it take real time, that way it's 2 seconds. And then there we go. So once we're finished, it'll kick out, and now we need to add that transition. It says next, and now it goes to location 2. Where do we want location 2 to be? Well, probably up here somewhere. So that looks like it's going to be at, say, 13. Right? So location 2 will be at vector position 8. 13, 0. We'll make this take 2 as well, so that way it's moving back and forth at the same speed. Turn off our orient to path, turn on our real time, and our finish event will be next, because once it gets there we just will want it to go back. So if we press play, we should see this platform moving up and down. Or not. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I totally missed it. We'll do it this way. There we go. It all looks good, but if you look closely, it looks like my little capsule here is bouncing along on this platform. You notice there's a little jump there. Okay, and we don't really want that to happen, because eventually what could happen is this platform goes down faster than the speed of our character. Our character is going to be flying. It's going to be falling at terminal velocity. Well, not even terminal, it'll just be falling. The platform will be moving down at a faster speed faster than gravity. Then the other thing is, as we're pushing up, the platform, if it pushes up too fast, our guy is going to fall through the platform. And the reason this is happening is because it's all right now relying on physics to push our guy up and down. Okay. To prevent that from happening, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make our player become a child of this platform, or anything else that jumps on this platform. That way, when the platform moves, it's now taking all of its positional data from the platform as its parent instead of the world space, and we won't get that bouncing. Okay, so there's a couple things we need to do for this. We're going to have to create a new FSM, and we're going to have a trigger zone on our platform. That way it says when our player enters this trigger zone, make it a child of the platform. That way when the platform moves, the child moves with it. And then we also need to say when the player leaves the platform, make it no longer my child. Alright, so I'm going to add a new component, a physics, I'm going to use a box collider since this is already a cube. Alright, so if we look, there it is, it's already taken up the space we want. I just want to move it slightly above. Hang on, my monitor just went off. Well, that was weird. Sorry about that. My monitor just shut off by itself. But now I'm back. So we're just going to raise up that platform just so it's above raise that box collider that we just created. And we're going to make it a trigger. And the reason we're doing that is that way when the player steps on it, he's inside the trigger space, and we can make him our child. Alright, so there we go. We're going to add a new FSM. So add FSM component, new FSM. We'll call this one, I don't know, rider control. There we go. Okay, this one will have 3 states. Okay, this one will be wait for, I don't know, trigger. Waiting for a trigger event to happen. This one will be get on for things that are getting on. This one will be get off for things that are getting off. IOF. Try again. Get off. Alright, we're going to have to create a couple events too. We could just create them here in just a moment using the actions themselves. So we are going to need a trigger events. We're going to need 2 of them. Okay, one for when our player gets on and one for when they get off. Okay, so one's going to be on trigger enter, the other is going to be on trigger exit. This one will say new event entered. Okay, so we will add an entered transition to get on. We're going to need one for trigger event. The exit events. So we're going to create a new event, call it exit. Alright. So the other things we're going to need to do is we're also going to have to remember what jumped on us. Okay. The reason we need to do this is that way we can take whatever jumped on us and make it our child. If we're looking for things other than the player, we might need more of these trigger events because we're going to have to filter them by tag. Our player is tagged as player, so we're going to have to make sure the collider tag we're looking for is the player. Whoopsie daisy, on both of them. So, why are we being silly? Player. There we go. Okay, so when the player enters, store the collider and send the entered event. So we're going to make a new variable, call this one player, and we'll store it both times. That way we can say something entered me, and then we'll do our parenting on. So And on each of these, what we're going to do is we're going to do a set parent. So set, and then we'll need to find, I guess you can just type it in, set parent, there it is. Okay, we'll do the same one on this one, set parent. Alright, and so it says, what do we want? What game object are we setting the parent for? We're going to specify that it will be the player. Remember the game object contained within that player variable that we just filled from here. Alright, and who do we want to make the parent? Well, we want to make ourselves the parent. So we're going to grab this platform cube and drag it in there. Okay, so that way when the player enters the zone, he has now become a child of that platform cube. We don't need to bother resetting any of these, that's just fine. And then what we want to do is finish. Okay, so once we're done setting the parent, go back and wait for something else to enter or exit. We'll do the same thing here, except one difference. Instead of setting the parent to be platform cube, we're just going to set it to be nothing. Okay, that way he becomes a child of the world space again. And then we'll finish and go back. So now if we press play, there we go, jump, 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 and now we're still bopping. Why are we jumping around? Let's not maximize and see that this is actually working. Player is tagged as player. So let's just watch this, see that that player goes under that platform cube. Something's just a little funky. Oh, I wonder if it's because it's a rigid body. So it's still jumping around. Let's remove that component and see. Oops, that's the player. I don't want to remove that. I want to remove it from this. Use gravity. Let's just try removing that. There, now my guy is not moving up, or he's not doing his jumpy thing. And I think the reason it was before is because we had it as a rigid body. But one thing you'll notice if you were to open up the, where is it? The profiler as we're running. If we press play, you're going to notice a little notification here, this huge yellow spike. I believe this is the physics engine being mad at you. Actually says that's maybe VSync, I don't know. But if we look under physics processing, I think maybe I'm wrong. Well, either way, we've got that working now. Okay, we can go and jump on our platform. It can take us up and down, and we don't jump around. Alright. Now, the only thing that we might want to do different is, instead of just using this platform to control itself, we set up a little bit more complicated set of game objects and make ourselves this little platform prefab that we can then duplicate around. And what we might want to change is, instead of having the platform itself find all the different locations, for instance, if we go back to moving platform, right, we're moving to a specific vector position. We might want to have a couple of transform positions using empty game objects, and that way we can just move those empty game objects around instead of having to come in here and type in specific vector positions. So what I might do, instead of just putting it all on this platform cube, create an empty, I'll call this moving platform, there we go, and I'll put this platform cube in here. Alright, this here got nothing on it. Alright, and in here what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this guy to be 0, 0. I'm going to set my platform cube to be 0, 0 as well. So that way everything's at 0, 0, 0. This will be our starting point. Alright, So move to location 1, we can just make this vector position 0, 0, 0. That way we always move back to this position. Okay, so we can move our moving platform to where we want it to. There we go. Not just the platform, but the entire thing. And inside of here, we'll also create another empty, and we'll call this target destination. There we go. Now, when we move to location 2, instead of moving to this vector position, instead, let's move to a transform position. What transform position? Well, the transform of our target destination. Okay, so that way, instead of having to type in our vector every time we want to change where this guy is, we can just move the entire moving platform kit, or I guess whatever you'd want to call it, around. Okay, and then we just move our target destination to where we want it to go to. Okay. The other thing we might want to do is, instead of using time to control how fast it is, we might want to use a fixed speed. Okay, the reason we might want to use the speed instead is because if our target destination comes, say way far away, well, you're still moving at the same, or you're going to move at a faster rate of speed in order to stick within 2 seconds. Okay, if you're moving from here to here in 2 seconds versus here to here in 2 seconds, right? It's a bigger change. So instead of using time, use a speed. Okay, so now if we press play, we should see my platform. There it goes. Nope. Yeah. The other thing you're going to want to do is, even though we set this to 0, 0, 0, we also need to change this space to self space. That way he starts where he's at. Now we press play, and there we go. Up and down. Going down really slow. Speed of 5. What was this one? Speed of 5. That's weird. What's different? Doesn't look like anything's different. Maybe I just change it to self space. See if that's any different. Well, now it's moving much slower. So those are things you'll have to play with, but at the very least now we have this moving platform thing that we can then use, create a prefab, and that way whenever we want another moving platform, we just stick it out here, move it to where we want it, pick our new target destination, and there we go. I have no idea why that guy's moving so slow. This guy's moving pretty fast. So, either way, there we go.